welcome to today's online hangout. As you can see, we're now working from home. We may have a couple of chainsaws to contend with, but just bear with us. So today we're unpacking our fifth tool from the event toolkit, which is engagement, and so that's something that we're very passionate about at Fetching Events and Communications. There's a lot more to events than just the logistics and operational side, but it's actually how you engage with all your stakeholders, from your guests to your speakers, to your sponsors, to your members, to your staff, to your volunteers. So start to really think about how you can keep engaged with all of these groups over the next few months. So once again, it's key that we go back to that event purpose and understand why we were holding the event, because that will give us clues on what kind of engagement we can do. The trick, and I think the trap will be over the next few months that people fall into, is to just think, well, I need to keep in touch with people and just push out lots of emails and online content, but it doesn't actually go right back to that purpose of why you were running the event in the first place. So key thing is you don't need to solve all the problems with your engagement. All you need to do is stay true to your event purpose and then see how you can roll that out through engagement over the next few months. So we'll look at a couple of examples. First of all, you may have a member association that you're running a conference for, and most of these member organisations and conferences, obviously a key thing is professional development, but networking and that real peer-to-peer connection is so important at these kind of events. So how can you do that online? Now, you certainly don't need to do it over a long period of time, and you may just choose to do it over the period that your original event was scheduled. So you might like to do some online world cafes or lightning talks, which you can do through Zoom, where you can break people off into online rooms. You might have just some Q&A or little simple online videos. You might like to do some live Facebook chats and actually allow people to share questions and answers. What you don't want to do is necessarily just move part of your original event online because that's actually not going to engage. So at this point in time, people want to be engaged, not just watching straight videos. So think about how you can do that with your content. Another thing, you may have had a dinner with a keynote speaker that you've had to transfer to the end of the year or early next year. So start to think about what you can do to recognise and I guess celebrate the purpose you were doing the dinner for earlier on. So for instance, I'm working on a Women in Leadership dinner, which obviously with the timing won't run, and we'll move that to another date. But what we're looking at doing is seeing if our keynote speaker could do a little teaser video, maybe just 5 minutes, a bit of a welcome, a little bit about what they're going to talk about, that they look forward to seeing everyone on the new rescheduled date. We can just push that out to people, so not only does it keep us connected, it gives people a little taste of what the dinner will have, it keeps us engaged with our speaker, and then everyone who's watched that little video books a ticket to the dinner and then comes along and sees the full version of that talk. So little things you can do to keep engaged. Another one is you may have a community or a cultural festival that you've needed to either cancel until next year or you've rescheduled it to a later date. So have a think about what you can do to keep engaged. So if your event purpose is around celebrating a particular community, what could you do in the meantime? So some simple ideas could be things like approaching one of your sponsors, if you've got some food sponsors, to provide you some recipes that you can push out online. And it could be as simple as just having PDF documents on your website. So really easy and not too labour intensive to deliver. You might also ask, perhaps you are having some food trucks or food vendors there. Would they like to do a little food cooking demonstration via video that you can put out via social media? So we know everyone's going to be spending a lot of time at home. So once again, simple things that you can do, cost effective. It doesn't need to be massive production values. I think everyone's going to be pretty accommodating to what we can do over this time. But once again, that kind of thing will engage with your supporters. You'll keep coming up in their social media feed, because remember, the more you post, the more you'll come up in their feed, and you'll keep yourselves in the algorithm. And if you just sort of hold back and then expect next year to start posting and that you're going to be straight back in their feed, that actually won't happen. So by doing these little bits of content like a cooking from home video, it will not only build that engagement, keep your social media profile high, but it also engages with your vendors and your sponsors. So if you're a sponsor that can get some extra engagement now online, of course you're going to want to come back even more next year when the event proper runs. So start to think about that engagement and start to think about who you're going to engage with, from your sponsors, your speakers, your guests, your staff, your volunteers. Little things that you can do over the next few months that will keep a certain level of visibility. Keep engaged with them. Once again, try and do interactive engagement. So, it could be as simple as posting something on Facebook and then asking for people to name their favourite French food, or as I said, an online World Cafe or lightning talk so people can share work that they're working on at the moment. And it can be as simple as just picking up the phone. So perhaps you've got a member organisation that you run a conference for, and a key thing is engagement and that support network. Why don't you assign that every day a couple of members are called just to see how they're going, because they're going to need us more than anything. So that's our tips for engagement. Lots that we can do, lots of fun things that we can do. And we look forward to joining you tomorrow to unpack our 6th tool from the toolkit.